Welcome to the Sage Intacct coffee break demo for healthcare organizations. Sage Intacct helps healthcare finance leaders focus on strategic initiatives, increase efficiency, and drive growth. We do this by delivering a depth of healthcare capabilities you won't find in a traditional enterprise accounting software suite. While we've typically been known for our leading core accounting, we offer accounting and finance leaders seamlessly connected solutions where it matters most. We bring together natively connected products across accounting and ERP, planning, payroll and HR, and analytics that simply work together, all from Sage Intacct, and building the strong foundation that you need to power your organization's growth and future success. In healthcare, we provide the visibility, flexibility, and efficiency to manage finances, operations, and people across acute, ambulatory, and post-acute organizations. Our open APIs, HIPAA compliance capabilities, and connectors allow for the combination of financial, clinical, statistical, and regulatory data to produce a 360-degree view of any healthcare setting. Aware of the growing need for revenue forecasting, the merging of virtual and in-person care, focused attention on patient profitability and cost, and the need to capitalize on new patient trends, Sage has taken the lead, helping healthcare finance leaders focus on strategic initiatives designed to move the business forward. As the healthcare industry continues to evolve, so does the job of today's healthcare finance leader. Sage Intacct changes the game, enabling healthcare finance leaders to not only report on the past, but gain valuable insights to inform and shape the future. Let's take a closer look at just how Sage Intacct does this.
Whether you are a senior living facility with multiple campuses, or perhaps you're a doctor's office with multiple locations, or a dental practice and have multiple clinics, one of the most important areas of your business is knowing how your business is performing. Having that access to information and trusting that that information is correct is of utmost importance. What you're looking at here is I've logged in today as the controller of the surgical center, and I'm interested in knowing how this particular area of my business is tracking and performing. So I'd like to have some quick business insight, and I see that here in these key performance indicators. While I'm looking at this, I also have the ability to compare this information to a prior period or to a prior month, as well as comparing it to budget. So if you're a budget-driven organization, and who isn't these days, you know that you've set your budget and you want to have access to see how you are performing against that budget. And then seeing that visual indicator quickly alerts you to areas that you might want to dig a little bit deeper in to see exactly what's going on. Now, in fact, I have many entities or companies that I'm managing here. The surgical center is not the only one in my business. I have several others here. But what I'm allowed to do is to look at them individually or to look at them collectively, so in a consolidated mode. So when I look at this in a consolidated mode, I'm looking at all of these companies, all of these locations, as opposed to just one. So now overall, I have $2.2 million worth of revenue. As we look at this information, this is also information that's going to help me make business decisions. Knowing who my top customers are, knowing who my top vendors are, understanding how I'm tracking against that budget, knowing that I can take that information and I can look at it from a dollar perspective, or I can look at it as a percentage variance. And certainly if I'm not the controller, I'm someone else in the organization, I'm going to have on my dashboard what's important to me. So in this case, if I'm the AP manager, I'm more concerned about the vendors that we are buying from, what my AP balance is, what the average AP balance is, and perhaps who my approved or top vendors are that I am doing business with. As we look at this information, this is more financial driven. This is what's going to tell us and help our accounting folks get their head around where we are from a financial perspective. However, we know that that's not the only way that we want to look at information. We sometimes want to look at information in more of an operational standpoint. So we've taken the ability to integrate with other solutions like your clinical solutions, your electronic healthcare records, and to be able to pull that operational data in so that we get a different view of how the business is tracking. So we may want to know not only what is our revenue, but we want to know the revenue per surgery. How are we going to know how many surgeries we did? Well, we're going to get that information as operational data. We can bring that in automatically from another system. We may want to net it down to per surgeon as opposed to surgery. We want to look at the individual surgeons. We want to know which surgeons are more profitable. So again, having that information, bringing that to the forefront as what we call outcomes or metrics. In addition to that, we may look at some healthcare metrics overall. So this is where you really get a view of all of the pieces of information, whether we're looking at our patient count. If we're in senior living, we could be looking at our resident count. And again, you have that same capability, comparing that to prior periods, having those visual indicators to alert you to where maybe you need to do some more research or you need to find out the details, being able to see this information and marrying it back to that financial data when it's appropriate. So this is the kind of information that you need access to. It's here on your dashboards. These dashboards are designed for you, the business user. They're easy to put together, and they're also easy for you to change and move around that data. Now, certainly, this is all about helping you utilize the system to its fullest extent and also to help you improve your productivity and efficiency. One of the areas that we know that organizations struggle with is that month-end close. So here we've set up a month-end close dashboard, and we're utilizing our month-end close checklist. So these are checklists that you can create assignments and assign those activities and tasks to individuals. And then you've got a view that you can actually look at, and you can identify where you are in that close process. Once that closing has occurred, we're going to keep track of that. We're going to let you know what applications in each one of those facilities or locations has in fact been closed. We'll also create any of those approvals that you need. So always at month end, you have some journal entries that need to be approved. Maybe you have some purchasing transactions that need to be approved. Any of that we can put on this dashboard is going to containerize that so that you have everything in one place. Companies and organizations are known to reduce that month-end close time anywhere from 5 to 10 days. And that makes a huge difference. That affects everything in your organization, all of your planning, all of your budgeting, all of your cash flow. So this is what you want to get to. You want to drive to eliminating that bottleneck that you have at month-end close time. The other thing that we've taken a hard look at is how your day-to-day activities are done. Always in healthcare, you're going to have a volume of accounts payable transactions. You're buying materials, supplies, and equipment for all the different facilities and communities. So how do we manage that? How do we manage that whole procure to pay process? You can start that process in purchasing. You can start that process in accounts payable. There are approval workflows, vendor approvals, bill approvals, purchase order approvals. So I may be a departmental person who doesn't have permission to buy materials. I can only request them. So maybe I start that process with a requisition. Running this process all the way through to receiving that material and then getting that vendor invoice. Bringing that over to accounts payable. And accounts payable, again, that same flexible business process where if you start it in AP, you can certainly have those approvals here as well. And then driving that through to paying that vendor and addressing all of that AP automation on the front end, getting that AP bill in, and paying that vendor on the back end can all be automated in Sage Intacct. Now, that gives us some of that daily activity. As we come back to the reporting area, you'll notice that the reporting area has a whole host of financial reports. We also have operational reports or reports from the subsystems. So if we step back into purchasing, we see on this screen that we have some standard purchasing reports. Every one of our applications has this, over 150 predefined reports in Sage Intacct. So this is where we want to come to today. We want to get to that point where we have the ability to capture this information, whether it's information being driven in Sage Intacct or it's integration that's coming in from other applications. Moving that data together so that you have dashboards that provide real-time, up-to-date information. This is how you're going to be successful in your business, and this is how you will be successful in Sage Intacct.
We hope you've enjoyed this brief overview of how healthcare finance leaders can go beyond core accounting activities and achieve greater visibility and insights into the health of their organization using Sage Intacct. If you are ready to explore further whether Sage Intacct is the right choice for your healthcare organization, take the next step and speak with an account executive.